Hey guys, what is up? I'm Zane Pastula. I'm currently a senior in North Shore High School, well, at least at the time of recording this video. It's 2021, COVID's still a thing. I'm recording from my room, and we'll just have to make the best of that. I'm talking to you guys about my CAS project, which is called the Anxiety Toolbox. It's a little toolbox, essentially. I provide with you some information about helpful tools for whenever you need to cope with anxiety before, let's say, a test, a quiz, or a presentation. All of us experience anxiety one way or another. Me, you, and everyone else in this world. Of course, we have different manifestations of anxiety, but the tools that I include within the toolbox should be helpful enough for you to calm yourself down and feel a little bit more confident to take on whatever is laying ahead. Hopefully, after seeing this video, your mind will be cleared up if you had any questions or any concerns after you read the information on the pamphlet. But before I go into the rest of the video, I will give a brief synopsis of the biology of how anxiety is caused and what exactly goes on inside your mind and your body. The anxiety that we experience today is actually an ancient evolutionary and adaptive tool wired into our brains called the fight or flight response. For example, when our ancestors had to fight a tiger, they would naturally experience that anxiety because there was a legitimate and tangible life threat in front of them. Based on the flight or fight response, there were only two options: to flee or to stay and fight the tiger. Today, thankfully, we no longer have these threats very often. However, the fight or flight response still remains inside of us. As a result, it can become activated from certain events even if there's no real life threat. Tigers have been replaced by tests, deadlines, social situations, and other stressors. While we know rationally that none of these will kill us, our body still goes into survival terror, also known as anxiety. So all of these actions are controlled by our limbic system, which contains a specific part of our brain called the amygdala. The amygdala, our alarm system, is what activates the fight or flight response. Once activated, this tiny little part of your brain will cause you to sweat, raise your heart rate, and cause other physiological symptoms associated with anxiety by signaling various organs to release stress hormones. In order to reduce the misfiring of the fight or flight response, you must strengthen the connections of your amygdala with what's called your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that controls your reasoning. The disconnect between these two parts of the brain is at the core of our anxiety issues today, particularly with testing. Even though there's no threat to your life, our amygdala takes over and overrides the rational thinking of our prefrontal cortex. In order to re-establish a functional connection between these two parts of our brain, we can either work from the top down, which involves reasoning and visualization through cognitive behavioral therapy, or from the bottom up, managing the physiological effects of anxiety through body-based approaches such as breathing, movement, and five-sense perception. The body-based approaches are particularly helpful, quick and easy to call upon. What the Anxiety Toolbox is meant to do is to provide you with tools to manage these physiological symptoms caused by anxiety. In other words, we are solely focusing on working from the bottom up. If you suffer from more severe forms of anxiety, please reach out to a therapist where you can seek a more appropriate level of intervention. Now that you know the biology of what goes behind an anxiety in your mind, we'll go into the tools and how exactly to do them. Remember, these aren't actual real tools like a hammer or a screwdriver. These are little things that you do with your body right there and then as you're having anxiety to cope with whatever is going on. It's more for immediate relief rather than long term, and these tools really work from the bottom up, working through your amygdala to your cortex. Tool number one, box breathing. Now, box breathing is a very simple exercise that you can do. Essentially, it involves a mindful way of breathing and using your lungs to their fullest extent in order to calm yourself down, provide oxygen to your vital organs and everything else that needs it. Remember, the lungs are enormous organs. There's a reason why they're so big, because the body requires a certain amount of oxygen to carry out certain basic functions and additional functions as well to help with your well-being. It creates almost like a cascade effect. Once you get enough supply of oxygen, your heartbeat will slow down, your chemicals will stop firing around, and essentially your amygdala and cortex become connected once again. In order to do box breathing, you need to breathe in 4 seconds, you need to hold for 4 seconds, release for 4 seconds, and wait another 4 seconds. And repeat this for however long as you need until you feel much better. We'll show a demonstration right now. Tool number 2, body scan. Now, body scan is a little bit more complex, but in my opinion, I think it is the most effective tool in helping out with your anxiety. Essentially, it's a form of meditation, which, as you probably know from yoga, is really effective in reestablishing a calm sense of mood and atmosphere around you, make yourself find some sort of inner peace. And one of the ways we do that is to connect ourselves with the rest of our body. When you're in the fight or flight response, you're only in your head. Your conscious and your thinking is only in your head. A body scan puts you out of your head and into your body again. What you're essentially going to do is take a journey throughout your whole body, and you're going to start with your feet and make your way all the way to the top of your head. The first step is to find somewhere where you can feel relaxed, or sit right in an upright position, and close your eyes because it certainly helps. First, you want to essentially put your head into your toes. Feel like as if you are your toe or your toes. It sounds weird, but trust me, this will definitely take practice, and the more you do it, the less weird it'll feel and the more effective it will be. So start out with your toes and move your way up through your ankles, your shins, your knees, all the way until the top of your head, and stop by your torso, your arms even, your neck, each part of your face. And in order to help put yourself there into that part of your body, you can move it around. For example, you can wiggle your toes a little bit, you can bend your knee, flex your arm, whatever it takes to help you put your mind inside of that. And once you do that, you'll realize, oh my God, I've been almost distracted from my anxiety, and you'll feel so much better immediately. And lastly, but not least, tool number 3, tapping. Tapping is a derivative of this unique process called EMDR, which is used by many anxiety therapists around the world. While the science of EMDR is not truly understood by scientists, it has been tremendously helpful for many patients across the world and in our country today. In fact, I've used EMDR before, and it's been extremely helpful. True EMDR, uses a machine that kind of buzzes between your hands, but essentially it's bilateral stimulation, meaning activating both hemispheres of your body. Because remember, your brain has 2 halves. Simulate EMDR. What we do is we take our 2 hands, we put them on our knees like this, and find yourself in a comfortable position. And all you're going to do is just tap it like this, like that, and just keep on doing that. The speed at which you tap may change depending upon your liking, upon the severity of your anxiety, but essentially you want to start with a nice light rhythm, and you can go faster at whenever you want. If that's too fast, then slow down again. Essentially, it stimulates both hemispheres of your mind, and that once again reconnects your amygdala with your cortex. And once again, the science is not fully understood, but it's been tremendously helpful for many. It's been helpful for me, and it's something really easy that you can do. You can do it right underneath your desk as you're about to take a test or a quiz. The toolbox doesn't end there. The whole purpose of my creation is to provide with you a starter pack. You can find many other resources online or through reading. A book I recommend is The Anxiety and Phobia Workbook by Edmund Byrne. Once you find something that is effective for reducing your anxiety, jot it down. Add it to your toolbox. The internet is your oyster. There is even an app I recommend called the Tapping Solution, which works with you in various forms of tapping, breathing, and meditation to alleviate your anxiety. Another one of my app recommendations is called the Calm app, which guides you through various exercises to improve your anxiety moments and sleep. That is all I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed my video. I hope it cleared some of your concerns, some of your questions. It certainly took some effort for me to make this, and I really understand the difficulties with people having anxiety because I've been there before many times, and I want to help others as much as I can. So thank you for watching this. I hope that you found it helpful, and have a good day.